It's early in the morning and this room is a mess. I can't find no matching
Okay guys, I wanted to add
today.
this in here right quick, just in case when you listen to my podcast, you're not alarmed by it. But in the background, you're going to hear a clunking or a clanging or a banging sound. Please do not be alarmed. Nobody was being hurt. Everything is fine. The sound that you will be hearing is the sound of the heat kicking on in the house. We have gas heat, and the source for the heat to come out of is radiators. And when it comes on, it makes that noise. And they've been coming on a lot here lately. Right now, it's currently 5 degrees, but it feels like 13 below out. So they've been coming on, the heat's been coming on a lot. So again, please, if you hear that noise in the background, you obviously know I'm not alarmed to it. I'm just babbling on about everything. So I just wanted to let you guys know, please don't be alarmed about it. Everything is fine. It's just my heating source coming on. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the podcast, and yeah, enjoy it. Bye. Hello, and welcome to episode 21 of Nicole O's World Podcast. I am your host, Nicole. If this is your first time checking me out, thank you so much for checking me out, and welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for checking me out and coming back for another week. Today is February the 27th, 2014. Today is Thursday. Depending on when you watch me, it could be Friday. But anyways, hello and welcome. And we shall get started. And sorry, I have this over me because I feel like this shirt is like... Anyways, we have some administrati, some finished objects, some works in progress, and a little enhancement. So, as far as administrati goes, we currently have a knit and crochet along going on. And that ends tomorrow, and I will close the thread for that on midnight West Coast time, so that way it gives everybody a chance to get their finished objects in. And it is our Go Red Along. You can knit or crochet anything as long as it's made using red yarn. So any shade of red, from screaming red to mute red, as long as it is red. And in order to be eligible for the prize, you have to be a member of our RAV group, Nicole O's World Podcast. So if you're not a member, come on over. You have to be a member. It has to be made out of red. You can dip in other contests or crochet cow cowls along. I call it cow cowls. But any cow cowls that are going on, it's not hard. My rules aren't very strict on that. And the prize, which is currently being housed in this little baggie, in case anybody's allergic to dogs, is a 100-gram ball of darn good yarn. And it is from my own personal stash. I bought this over at darngoodyarn.com quite a while ago. It did lose the ball band, which I'm sorry. It's from her classic colorway, or it's either called classic or original. It is silk sari yarn. It is made out of reclaimed sari silk from the saris that they wear over in India. It is child labor free, and it is amazing to work with. I will include washing instructions for it, and I really would like to see what you knit or crochet out of it. And it does work well if you want to mix it with other yarns. So here's what it looks like. I think it is just absolutely gorgeous. I just love it. And you will see some are thin and some are thick, and it looks fuzzy a little bit. And that's just the way it's made because it's hand spun. and I absolutely love it, and I hope you will too. Yay! So that is for our long. Lucky winner will get that. Alright, next, forgive me for, I don't have my glasses on and I really should, but you get a glare. Anyways, next, this pertains to the podcast. You guys remember that I made an admin decision this past week. You guys remember I was saying about the host that I use to upload my podcast to iTunes, that I get so much free storage, and if you're new, you will notice that it may show right now maybe episode 21 or no episodes, but the reason for that is I was using the free version, and in order to keep it free, I would have to delete and only delete so many episodes and keep maybe one current episode. I did check into their yearly subscription as to what it will cost, and then I compared it to another site that I've heard a lot of fellow podcasters I listen to that were currently using Blip, which Blip stopped uploading to iTunes, but they all switched to another host called Podcast Garden, and they are quite pleased with it. So I went over to there and I did a little research there, and I checked the upload, the storage, all that stuff. My hot little hands were busy, and I determined that because I want to get the most bang for my buck, because I love coming in every week and sitting here and chatting with you guys. Y'all like friends and family, and I love doing this, and it's a hobby of mine, so I was I want to get the most bang for my buck. So I compared Podomatic and I compared Podcast Garden. Excuse me. Oh, I am so sorry, and I'm not editing that out, I'm sorry. But anyways, I decided that the most bang I would get is from Podcast Garden. So I will be in the next few weeks moving everything over to Podcast Garden, and all that simply means for my iTunes viewers is that you're going to need to look for a new badge, because you're going to have to resubscribe to me on iTunes, and this will be my permanent site, my permanent host, unless something changes on their end. And I'm going to include right now the new picture logo for it. It's still going to be the same, except the wording is going to be in blue. And I will let you guys know when I'm permanently making the switch to the new host. I will give you a warning. I know it'll take a couple weeks, because I want to say it'll take at least a podcast or two till I get everything switched over. In fact, maybe I'll come in with a little mini episode on the current host I'm using, saying, okay, y'all, resubscribe to me here. And you can resubscribe to me there. And I will pause this right now, and I will also show you the new logo that you will see for my hosting site. And I will do that right now. Alright, I'm back. Now that that's over with. And of course, those of you that watch me on on YouTube or my blog, you're completely fine. And yes, I do have a blog. If you're new, I have a blog. That's where I keep my show notes and also any other things that I do blog, because I do also write physical blogs there. And you can find that at Nickelos, NICKELOS.blogspot.com. And when it comes up, it'll say Nickel O's World and Thoughts. And there's also 2 ways that you can get in contact with me if you want to leave a comment, or there's something you want me to review, or you want to talk to me about something, or whichever, or there's something you want to talk to me about, you can either contact me on Ravelry at Nikki18229, or you can contact me on the blog's email address, which is nickelosworldpodcast@gmail.com. And I will put that down here so that you can see it. It'll flash the email. Alright, we're going to finished objects. And I currently have it on. Yay! Finished objects! I will include, right now, I will pause this again and I'll do a little video where you can see it better. But before I do so, I'm going to talk about it. I finished my Boneyard Chaw by Stephen West. And for those of you that would like some more information, this is a free pattern on Ravelry. However, I did not use the Ravelry pattern. I took Stephen West's Shawscape class over on Craftsy, and I used that pattern. It is a little bit different. I don't want to go into how much different it is versus the one on Rav, because I feel that because this was a paid for, his Craftsy class was a paid for class, that by me going into information about the Boneyard Chaw over there, you know, I feel that wouldn't be right, because I feel technically, you know, I paid for the class, and in turn, I partly paid for the pattern. So I'll just kind of talk about it a little bit. It's by Stephen West. It's his Boneyard Chaw. That's what it looks like. And it calls for a DK or worsted weight yarn. And it calls for 5mm circular knitting needles. I used actually a 4.5 or 4.25, I believe. Yeah, 4.25, because then it goes to 4.75. 4.25, sorry. Circular knitting needles. And I'm going to put a video right here. And I will say those with earbuds. Please forgive me because you're going to hear my dogs in the background. Okay, guys. Coming in, this is going to be inserted in the podcast. But I wanted to show y'all what my Boneyard Chaw looks like. So here goes. This is getting edited in. I hope you like it. Here is what it looks like pre-blocked. This is the back. This is me showing it from the back, of course. I think it looks quite lovely. This side, again from the back. I hope you guys like it, and you probably heard the dogs in the background, so sorry about that. I'm going to stop this, and it's going to be inserted in the podcast now. Alright, now I'll show you a little bit here. And as I said, I'm wearing it because, like, this is just open too much for my liking today. I forgot to put it on a tee. Alright, here's what it looks like so far. And I use Caron Simply Soft in the Limelight colorway. Here's the end. You're probably going to lose my face, but you hear me talking. Here's the middle. And now we're going over to the other side. And I don't know if you saw too well, but here is the bottom of it. And you can see in the middle, it looks like a spine. And the little V's coming out of it look like the little, obviously, bones. But this is my Boneyard by Stephen West. I used 2 skeins of Caron Simply Soft in the Limelight colorway. And this, I should add, this is what it looks like before I wash and block it. I know it's an acrylic, and a lot of people are like, it's acrylic, you know, it's not really going to stretch much, but usually when I block an acrylic yarn, it does stretch pretty well for me. So this is what it looks like pre-washing and blocking. I have not washed it or blocked it yet. It is going to get its bath tomorrow. And I finished this the other day. It's on my Rav page. I don't remember exactly what day, but it's on my Rav page. When I finished it, if you want to know. But yeah, it was such a fun knit. I really enjoyed knitting this. And I did 2 new to me things on this. I did his garter tab cast on, which was a new to me cast on. And I did his favorite bind off cast on, which I love. Oh, it is so much, it's so easy. I love it. And if you listen to Paula from the Knitting Pipeline, she actually has a little YouTube video showing you how to do it. Because I wanted to make sure I was doing it right, and I put it in YouTube to see. And Auntie Paula has something. Alright, sorry about the brief pause. Somebody just came in the house, and I don't think people with earbuds in would have wanted to hear my dogs carry on, so I paused it. And while I did pause, I did double check. I finished this on the 23rd of this month. As far as finished objects go, that is my only finished object. Because, as you guys know, I have 2 other things on the needles. Well, technically, now it's just 1. Alright, moving into works in progress. Alright, where did I... Sorry, I'm leaning here. You're going to get up close, scared shot of me. Alright. You guys remember I told you I was working on a sweater from Mel from Single Handed Knits podcast. And it was her sweater called Hawaiian and Friendship. Once again, thanks to the magic of editing. You guys know... I usually get interrupted a few times in a podcast, and I'm so sorry about that. Anyways, as I was saying, I was working on Mel Skis, or Mel from the Single Handed Knit podcast. She has a sweater. I don't know how you pronounce it in Hawaiian, so I'm not going to try and butcher it. But if somebody knows how to say it, please let me know. It's Hawaiian for friendship, and a lot of people have made this sweater, and I'm not going to divulge too much information because it's paid for pattern, but this is what it looks like. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. You guys remember that I was working it in a green yarn? Yeah. The reason I have it listed as work in progress is because I'm going to restart it tonight. Because I got needles that will work. My other needles, yeah, I was fighting too much and I lost so many stitches. It was horrible. But anyhow, that's that. Let me find, here it is. Alright, I wanted to talk quick in the work in progress section about that because, as I said, this is still a work in progress. I just got better yarn and needles to continue working on it. Alright, I am working currently on Mr. Green Jeans, and sorry for the rustling if you have earbuds in, because I know it's probably quite annoying, and you're like, you mad woman, just stop it, you mad woman, it's annoying. Alright, I will get up who made this pattern, because it is Mr. Green Jeans, and it is by Amy Swenson, Swenson. If I am pronouncing it wrong, I am sorry. And this is a free pattern on Ravelry. Here is what it looks like. And here is a back view of Mr. Green Jeans. I will say this is a fun knit. That's the back of it. It's fairly easy. It's a raglan top down. And I'm leaning over to get it because it's over here. As I said, it is a raglan top down. So if you've never made a sweater before and you've never did cables and you'd like to try, I think this would be a really great first sweater and cable project for you, especially. Or you've done cables and you want to improve, I think this would be a good one, but that's just my opinion. Here is what it looks like so far. I hope I'm back far enough for you guys to see, but this is what it looks like. I know it looks all wonky and folding like a blob, and I will show you the back. And here is the back of it. As you guys see, I have sleeves on it. Last week I wasn't very far. It looked like a major blob compared to what it is now. And if you're wondering what I have my stitches on for my sleeve, I am using the cables for my Harmony Knit Picks. I'm using the 24-inch cables to hold the live stitches on both of them, because me and waste yarn, somehow we just don't get along when I go to put a project on waste yarn. I don't know why. I either have trouble getting it onto the waste yarn, or if that goes good, I have trouble taking it off. If anybody has any tips or suggestions to help me with that, I'm gladly open to comments. And this pattern calls for 5.mm circular knitting needles, and also 4.5 5mm double pointed needles for the sleeves, and also 5mm circular needles, 32-inch circulars or longer. Now I hope it's not going to make too much of a difference when I first started this sweater. Sorry, that is my fan for my cooling thing for my pad that I have my laptop setting on. I shut it off. So if you've been hearing that all along, sorry. I originally started this on 4.5mm circs. So I hope, and I just switched them over to 5s. I'm hoping it's not going to make too much of a difference now. I am currently using, I just got them in the mail, Knit Picks Caspian 5mm crochet hooks, the interchangeable ones, on a 60-inch cable. Here is that, and this is the cable. I do have one question for you guys that use Harmony or interchangeable needles, especially Harmony. Do you guys ever have it where, like, right in here where the joint is, that as you're knitting, it comes loose and then you have to stick the key back in it and push all the stitches down and tighten it back up? Or have you had it ever when you're knitting and it comes loose and you don't realize it and the cable comes out and you drop all your stitches off the needle? I had that happen to me today. It's not the first time that I've had that with Harmonies. With the Caspians, this is the first time, but I've had it happen to me on my Harmony needles. Is it a Knit Picks thing that they come loose from the joint and you constantly have to retighten them every once in a while? Or is it an interchangeable needle thing? Or is it because of the weight of your project on the interchangeable needles? I'd really like some input on that from you guys to let me know, and even some suggestions on maybe how to avoid that. Alright, if you're probably wondering what this is being knit out of, I hope you guys can see the color pretty good. Here's what it looks like. Yeah, you guys can see the color a lot better than last time. But this is the color. I think it looks pretty good. It is 6 ounces of Venus Choice yarn, and it is in purple print colorway, color 202, and I did mention last podcast, I wasn't sure if it's still available in circulation. It is. And it's purple print. This is 6 ounces. I do know that at Joann, if you like this colorway, at Joann's Fabric, they have it, but it's only in 4 ounces. So if you want 6, maybe check the website. As you saw, I got my 6 ounce one a while back at Ollie's. My vintage choice here, I got this because it was in my yarn stash. I stash dive deep into my stash. And I saw this yarn, this colorway, and it just called to me and said, "Make Mr. Green Jeans out of me." So that's what I did. Alright, that's all my works in progress for this week. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this is being kept in my ATV bag that I won from the Turbo Knitting from Ken over at Turbo Knitting Podcast. I won a contest of his, and this is, along with yarn, this is one of the things I won, and I love this bag because I like being outdoors and doing fun things. Never rode quads, but want to ride them. All right, moving right along into enhancements. Yay! You will hear some rustling of a bag, and I'm sorry. But first, let me lean over again. And I will get, as I said, in the mail, and I'm dropping stuff. I purchased, these are 5mm Caspian interchangeable needles by Knit Picks, and the 60-inch circular cable. I do have a question for anybody that has purchased these. Well, another question. Can I use these Caspian needles on my Harmony cables? And can I use my Harmony needles on the Caspian cables? I want to say that I can, but I'm not sure. Because I'm thinking all the Caspian is the Harmony needle in a different color and a different name. And the same thing for the cord. So that's that. And as I said, I did order that from Knit Picks. Alright, next thing, and as I warned, you're going to hear rustling. Because I have it all in my bag. I feel like Santa Claus here. Those of you that still print off patterns, do you guys ever keep them in binders? Like, I'm guilty. I put them in binders, and then I use protective sheet covers to put them in. So I got some protective sheet covers because I'm a bad pattern keeper. They're just sitting in folders and need to be organized. And there's some patterns that I reuse them, and I don't want them to get ruined, so I tend to put them in sheet covers. So I picked some of those up on a trip out. Sorry for the rustling. Next, I also purchased, I don't know if I'm going to like them, but I purchased some Boy fixed circular 5.0mm crochet knitting needles in 29 inches. I don't know how I'm going to like them, so I will let you guys know how I like them. If I don't like them, I'll either do a giveaway or I'll just give them to somebody. Next is, Joann's had a sale going on. Joann's Yarn, or Joann's Fabric, I call it yarn. But Joann's Fabric had a sale going on, and I purchased a few things because I had a 15% off coupon. First of all, I was talking a while back that I want to make the Hallelujah by Mel Ski or Mel Tram from the Single Handed Knits podcast. Well, I purchased some buttons for that, and I will show you guys in the next podcast the yarn I have for it. Now, I did purchase, I purchased another one of these, but I'll just show you the one I purchased by Cairn, the 1 pound in sky blue colorway. And this is what I'm going to make that first sweater that I showed you by Mel from Single Handed Knits podcast. I'm going to make that Hawaiian friendship sweater out of this yarn. And these are the buttons that I got for it. So it's just, I think they go good together. So that's what I bought there. As I said, 15% off. I couldn't beat it. I had the coupon. I was like, well, I got 15% off my total order. I might as well get these things while I'm out. And while they're on sale before the sale goes off. Alright, the next thing I got is, I didn't buy it, I won it. Sorry, I needed a drink. I watch, which I recommend, I watched the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast with Talia and Marlisha. And I won 2 skeins of sock yarn. Yay! It was their, I think, 150 members, I want to say. And I won patent stretch socks, and it's the LaCour colorway, and I just love this colorway. I cannot wait to knit a pair of socks up. That's what it looks like. I think it is great. So thank you guys. And they also sent me 2 things that made my day. One, because it's so cold here, and when I opened my package, this was also in it. And I just love this little butterfly. Of course, anybody that knows me knows I love dragonflies and butterflies. And I saw this little thing, and it's going to sound dorky, but it made my entire day. It just made me smile because it reminds me of summer and warmth. And it just made my day. And it comes in quite handy for holding my pattern. And with the way the sweater's been, every time I look at this little guy, I have to smile because it just reminds me of being warm. And they also included such a nice note. And that's the little card they sent me with a little handwritten note in it, which basically telling me to enjoy my prize, and they thanked me for watching. And I thought that was so nice of them to do that. So that's my little enhancement that went on. So yeah, that is everything. I am going to let you guys go. I'm sorry if it looks dark in here. I'm recording at night versus the day, because the day kind of got away from me. I got busy. So I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and a great rest of the week. And I will talk to you